everybody, it's Jen back again this week with an 8.5 by 11 layout. This layout I had kind of gotten started at the crop that I went to in April, but then I just really never got back to it and then remembered it and decided to make it an 8.5 by 11 to fit in with what I've been doing lately. So I had already matted it with two black and white papers there, and then I decided I didn't want to bring in a whole lot of color because I really wanted the emphasis to be on the photo and the sunset and sort of the muted colors there. So I just pulled out a yellow paper and then a black and white paper with some words, which I'm going to put at the bottom here right now. And I also cut just a really thin strip there of black cardstock, just because I felt like it needed that really little bit there in between the white background and then that pattern paper, just to make it stand out. It seemed to kind of fade away a little bit otherwise. So putting that down, and then I cut that little photo corner there from the yellow, and I just added some ink to the edges to that with some Distress ink, and I can't think of the name of that Distress ink right now, but it's a gray Distress ink. It might come to me. And then I'm going to use these words here, these Thickers words, and it just says remember today. And all of the stuff that I'm using are from a bunch of old hip kits from I believe up until the end of February or March. They're all stuck together, so I honestly don't know which kit or any of that sort of stuff. I'm pretty sure that, I know that all the stuff that's laying around me, the embellishments, are mostly from Pink Paisley, and I'm pretty sure that that paper with the words is an LA Studio. But other than that, and the thickers, I'm not sure. So I want to keep it really simple, so I pull in a little bit of yellow in the left corner of the photo there with one of those frames, and then I'm playing around with this die cut, and I want to have somewhere for my date to land, and then I want to put a bit more yellow in each of the areas. So I'm just going to distress the edges of that, and it says XOXO. And that's from that Maggie Holmes sticker sheet that you see laying there on the side. And then I'm going to use my Heidi Swapp date stamp. And what I'm doing there is I'm just using a post-it note because there's not enough space to do the month and the date and the year. So I'm just stamping off on the post-it stamp and still getting the really cool January scripty font because that's a Heidi Swapp date stamp, and I'm still getting the 2016, but I'm managing to get rid of the two spaces in the middle that are supposed to be the date because they did not fit on that label. So hopefully that makes sense, that I'm just putting the post-it note in the way and only stamping down the bit of the date stamp that I want to use. So I'm putting this cluster of 3 together here and just putting a bit more adhesive on that because I've moved it a few times. And then I also put Distress ink on the edge of that yellow frame as well, just to sort of pull it all together. And I find, especially when I'm working on with really muted colors, that having a bit of that ink on the edges just helps soften everything and also pull it all together because the yellows are slightly different colors. So here I'm just deciding to do my title a little bit different. I'd had it over the photo, and I decided to move that cluster down to the bottom as well. So that just means everything fits a little bit differently. And here I'm fiddling with the today. I actually kind of wish I'd moved it over a little bit, but it was it crowded that that label a bit. And I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking I maybe could have cut some of the top of that label off and then moved the today over, and that may still happen. We shall see. So here I found a little black sort of sketchy heart, and I'm just popping that up on a really thin foam square to put at the bottom there. And then I'm thinking about what I want to do at the top. It looked kind of naked with it just being that yellow because the print is so soft it's almost reading as not a print. So I decide to put a little bit of a cluster up there. I hadn't planned on putting a cluster up there at all, but that's what I decide to do. So I've pulled in those two die cuts from that Pink Paisley die cuts I had laying around, and then that black with the gold glitter sticker is off of that Maggie Holmes sticker sheet as well. So I've just put those together and cut a little banner out of the bottom of the white and gold dot, and then I've pulled this label in as well just to pull a little bit more of that color that I have on the bottom die cut in. What you're not going to see is I'm going to actually move that over. The label's going to stay in place, but the banners are going to get moved over because that box sort of looked empty and odd. So I wanted the color there, but it looked kind of odd and it wasn't big enough to write anything in. So you'll see from the photos, I'm going to move the cluster of little banners over and then write very, very tiny in there where this is. And I found another one of those sketchy hearts to put on the top. I'm going to put a little teeny tiny bit of black Heidi Swap Color Shine, just a tiny little bit, and after that I'm going to call this pretty much done. When I do grab actually 2 gold enamel dots as well, because I just felt like it needed just a teeny extra little bit there. So I have some close-ups coming up for you now, and hopefully you'll see what I mean right there at the very top. I moved those banners over, I moved the enamel dot over, and then I put the name of where this photo was taken and then the name of the child in silhouette in case I forget down the road. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will see you again real soon. Bye!